Chargers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike and Gxlden with you, the All-Pro Chris Boswell with the honors. Off we go on Sunday Night Football. He's across the 20, taking down just shy of the 25. So here come the Chargers, and it's year 6 and year 2 for Justin Herbert, Greg. It's year 2 with Jim Harbaugh, but the 6th season for the Here's 3rd and 7. From the gun, it's Herbert. Throwing right. That's Johnston. And he puts his head down and he picks up the first down.
And the Chargers, first down. A gain of 9 yards. And the Chargers, first down.
Defense does a nice job here initially using zone coverage to take away the middle of the field. That's the most valuable real estate in football. Quarterback gets off his first read, sees some openings to the sideline, and him and his receiver are able to connect.
On the ground, it's Kamani by Jeff. That lane closes quickly. A pickup of 3. Derek Harmon in for the tackle.
A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7. At the 39-yard line.
Ball on the 39. Here's 2nd down and 7. To throw, it's Herbert. That's over the middle and intercepted. Picked off by Patrick Queen. And the Steelers are going to get possession here as they force the opening drive turnover.
So anytime a team suffers an early setback like that interception, human instinct says, Mike, we need to get away from our game plan. We need to adjust. I don't think that's the case. There's a lot of game left, a lot of chances to avenge that play and still connect downfield on some of these passes. All proven, though, Mike, they've got to identify what went wrong, let's correct it so we're able to move forward.
Forward to about the 42. Truly to throw to. There for the tackle.
1 yard gain brings up 2nd and 9.
It is 2nd and 9. Once again, it's Warren. And they bring him down, but not until they get inside the 30-yard line. 15-yard pickup there. Good for a Steeler first down.
The best offensive play callers in the NFL, Mike, do a great job tying in their under-center run game, like we just saw here, with their under-center play action game. And the ability to make those two things look alike, man, it puts a lot of stress on the defense.
And he's brought down after a gain of 6 on first down.
This is a great example here of just not getting too complicated as an offensive coordinator. Who's one of your best players on the field, and how do you get the ball in his hands?
From the 21, Here's 2nd and 3. Play action now with Rodgers. And that's going to be a first down. A pickup of 9.
These crossing concepts are frequently used, Mike, throughout the entire game, all across the league. And what it does is it creates a lot of natural rubs. You run out the backside of the defense and rely heavily on the yards after the catch, and it's exactly how they're able to pick up this big game.
On the handoff, this is Waller. He's fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage, but can't get there. Drop for the loss of a yard.
A loss of 2.
How often do we see linebackers be so fast trying to track down the ball carrier that they end up actually overrunning the play and allowing the running back to cut back? But not this guy. Does a great job staying in phase, stretching this ball out sideways, and he brings them down for a loss.
The shotgun, it's A-Rod. He'll step up and run. Good idea there to cover up at the end. He's able to use his legs and pick up 8.
Take a look at his eyes. You can see the quarterback clearly going through all of his progressions, and he's quick to realize there's nowhere to go with this ball. He makes the right decision and gets out of there, picks up some good yardage, and gets down on the ground.
3rd and short yardage, it's Rodgers. That one, take it in. DK Metcalf. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Tight spaces down there. Things happen quick. Greg, a quick decision and great execution for the score.
You're exactly right, Mike. Down here this close to the goal line, everybody's clock has to speed up. Not only the quarterback processing to get the ball out of his hand, but you have to win as a receiver quickly and give the quarterback somewhere to go with the ball. It was that quickness at the line of scrimmage that led to that touchdown.
Chris Boswell on for the point after. His kick is good, and the Steelers will take a 7-0 lead.
Chargers, nothing.
Boswell now following the touchdown. Back out to kick this one off. Here's Darius Davis to return. Ooh! He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The Chargers offense ready to see the football for the 2nd time. They had that pick on the opening drive that led to a touchdown. So 7-0 the deficit as they get the ball back. 1st and 10. Herbert now on 1st down. That's complete. It's Ladd McConkey. And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a 1st down completion of 7 yards.
Outbreaking routes, Mike, especially outside of the numbers, everything is about the timing. If you're late with the throw, you're going to be watching that defensive back take that thing the other way for 6.
Out of the gun, here's Herbert. That one pinballs around, but it is incomplete. Ladd McConkey, the one he was looking for. Now it's going to be 3rd down.
There was no hesitation from the quarterback. From the jump, he knew where he wanted to go with that ball, but still leads to an incompletion. They're just still not quite on the same page.
Motion man is Johnston. Herbert going to try to throw on 3rd down. He's got the open man. That's McConkey. And he will go all the way. Matt McConkey. Touchdown Chargers.
And this is what good offenses in the NFL do, Mike. It's the ability to bounce back, even if the onset of the game doesn't go exactly according to plan. Everybody wants to take their opening possession and go down there and come away with a touchdown. But it's not always going to be perfect. You turn it over on possession 1. What are you going to do in response on possession 2? Well, we just got our answer, and they took it down for 6.
Cameron Dicker, the kicker for the extra point. It's up and good. And the Chargers will tie things up at 7-7 here in the opening quarter. So back to level after the touchdown. Time for the kickoff. On the return, it's Kenneth Gainwell. And he is stopped at the 25. The drive will begin there. The Steelers offense ready for their second possession. From the 25, they'll go to work. 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, it's Rodgers. This one broken up. It's incomplete. The defender right there with him. It brings up 2nd down.
And that's exactly what every defense is trying to do in the passing game. They want to muddy up these windows, Mike, make every throw as contested as possible. No separation, contact right at the catch point, and does a great job forcing the incomplete pass.
Oh, what a throw. Slinging it across his body and complete. And a good job rallying to the football. Holding just a gain of a yard and sets up 3rd down.
3rd down and 9.
From the gun, Rodgers. This one broken up. It's incomplete. Good job separating the receiver from the ball, and it is 4th down.
And barring an aggressive decision here on 4th down, it just seemed like a really wasted possession to go 3 and out, not able to pick up a single 1st down. Not only do you not able to gain any field position advantage, it really takes a lot of the wind out of your sails as you find yourself jogging off the field and the punt team coming on.
A fair catch here. Called for and made beyond the 30-yard line. So now here comes the Chargers as they get set to take over once more. They'll run with Vidal. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
Well, they try to get the run game started here early on this drive, Mike, and they're just going to have to do a better job up front. There's really nowhere for this ball carrier to go. You never want to lose yards on 1st down, but that's exactly the case here.
Lost 1 on the last play, so now it's 2nd and 11. Motion man is Johnston. They'll try to hit him with a screen. And he'll be very close to a 1st down. Won't quite have enough, but now a much more advantageous spot.
They may not have moved the chains, but with what they were dealing with there on 2nd down, that's a really nice pickup because now it opens up your play call sheet on 3rd down where it's a little bit more manageable.
3rd and inches. They'll go with the sneak. And the drive will stay along. He's got the 1st down up to the 44.
It's a gain of 2.
I don't want to take anything away from the quarterback here, Mike. He did a nice job picking up that 1st down. But this play is won or lost by the big guys up front. They're the ones who need to get off the snap on time, get leverage on the defender, and create the space needed for the quarterback to pick up the 1st down.
And he's going to struggle to get back to the line. Maybe a yard. Chuck Clark there to make the play.
A gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 9.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's 2nd down and 9. No play fake. Herbert to the left side. Catch made by McConkey. And they will finally run him down. It's a big one for the Chargers. 33 yards.
And the Chargers 1st down. A gain of 33 yards on the play. 1st down, Chargers.
This defense just gets punched in the mouth on that one, Mike, and it just seemed from up here that not everyone on defense was on the same page, and the offense was able to take advantage of it. The defense has to clean things up here in a hurry, because if they don't, they could be in for a long day.
And nowhere to go on that one. They lifted him up and threw him down behind the line.
This play here, Mike, is just all about the get-off of the defensive line. Watch how fast they go when that ball is snapped. Nowhere for this running back except to go down for a loss.
So they go backwards on first down. Here's 2nd and 13. Shotgun now for Herbert. That is left side and taken in by Allen.
You can see in the eyes of the quarterback, he's trying to push this ball initially downfield, but with the defense doing a good job keeping a lid on the coverage, he's forced to check this ball down to the shallow route. But this is something that they know in the future. If I need a couple yards, they can come back to this play.
Throwing is Herbert on 3rd down. And that ball out of reach. Toward the sideline. It'll be an incompletion.
And I think this is just a really good quarterback play. You understand you got 3 points in your pocket. Don't try to be a hero on 3rd down and make the perfect pass. Throw it away, and at the end, just come away with points on this drive.
Dicker's kick is good. And the Chargers will break our tie and take a 10-7 lead.
And I think this is going to end up being considered a successful drive, Mike. I think obviously you would have loved to see them come down and convert and score a touchdown. But at the very least, they needed to come away with 3. They were able to do that and take a lead on that field goal.
On the return, it's Williams. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. Here comes the Pittsburgh offense now, heading back onto the field. On the carry, this is Kenneth Gainwell. And some space opens as he's brought down following a gain of 6.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3 at the 33-yard line.
Here's a 2nd and 3 from the 33. Here's Warren. And that won't get a whole lot. Maybe a yard. That's it.
And with that run, Mike, even though it brings up 3rd down, it still keeps this offense in what they call a 50-50 downs. It means with the down and distance provided, you can call a run or a pass, and both are equal threats. And that's what makes it so hard for these defenses to defend those situations.
Rodgers on 3rd and 2. And the rush gets home. He'll go down. They got him. Khalil Mack, 3-time All-Pro. In there to bag another one.
And these are the type of splash plays that can have an impact, especially as the game goes on. So offensive line has to do a better job to make sure that they have this protection shored up and that this isn't a sign of things to come.
Here's Corliss Waitman now. And he's on to punt for the 2nd time in this opening quarter. And he'll be brought down. Short return. And no takeover there. And he's already topped the century mark in receiving yards here in this first half. So you'd have to think the bulk of the targets are going to continue to go his way. And this is by Dell. And a strong first down run, a pickup of 9, setting up 2nd and short.
A gain of 9 brings up 2nd and 1 at the 46-yard line.
Disley is the man in motion. On the ground, it's Vidal. And I don't think he got that wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. And now you're looking at 3rd down.
Great job here defensively, Mike. Make them snap the ball again. 2nd and 1, they're not conceding anything. Make it 3rd and 1 and see if your defense can come up again with a stop for no gain.
Herbert to throw on 3rd and 1. Taking off, he'll try to get there. He'll get a dozen out of that one, scrambling his way to a first down.
A gain of 12 yards. And the Chargers, first down. First and
Having
10
a quarterback with this
41-yard line.
ability to run is such an X factor in today's NFL. It's an element of their offense that you have to be prepared for on every single play. Here we see it on 3rd down. Starts out as a pass. Nowhere to go with the ball. He tucks it, turns into a runner. Picks up the first down.
And he can't hang on through the contact. Incomplete. Good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. It'll bring up 2nd down.
They nearly connected on the big play downfield, but he's not quite able to hold on to that ball through the contact. You can chalk that one up as a win defensively.
Disley is the man in motion. Now Herbert throwing on 2nd down. That one thrown behind his target, and it'll be incomplete.
Throughout this entire game, we've really seen this quarterback operate very efficiently, not only being able to spread the ball to multiple playmakers, Mike, but really complete a high percentage of his passes. So can't let that last incomplete break what's been a really nice rhythm so far.
Throwing is Herbert on 3rd down, and that is incomplete.
I just don't like the look of this passing game, Mike. It just seems a bit erratic. On top of the 2 straight incompletions, they've already turned the ball over through the air. Truthfully, with how dangerous some of these throws have been, they're lucky it hasn't been even more.
Chargers field goal. A 58-yard attempt.
And he missed it. It's no good. And this will stay a 3-point game.
The score.
And this is the danger of trying these long field goals. Remember, Mike, if you miss, the other team gets the ball at the spot of the kick. So it's going to end up setting them up for great field position as they start this next drive.
The Steelers offense headed back to take over once more. They'll begin just shy of midfield with a 1st and 10. He'll try to push forward. He'll wind up getting 3 yards with that one. It was Cam Hart in on the tackle.
49-yard line. It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd down and 7. They'll stay on the ground with Warren. Angling to the sideline, inside the 35. Strong running there. He brings this down inside the 25. That one's good for 26 yards.
There's 2 elements to a successful run play, and the key is having them aligned. The offensive line needs to block according to the play and create space, but the back has to hit that space at the appropriate time. This is a clear example as to why it leads to big gains.
He takes off.
The best quarterbacks don't see the rush, they feel the rush, and that's exactly what this guy was able to do here. He's able to escape the initial pressure and immediately realizes, I got some space out in front of me. Picks up a solid gain here on 1st down.
He'll come to the line now on 2nd and 2. On 2nd down, Warren.
And after that short run, puts them a little bit closer to the 1st down marker. They're going to need to create more running room on the ground if they plan on extending this drive.
They'll look to pick this up 3rd and a yard. They'll run the sneak. He will have a Steelers 1st down. They're able to convert, albeit not by much, but they get it on 3rd and a yard.
First down. 1st and 10 at the
When done
11-yard
correctly,
line.
Mike, this is just such a high percentage call. It's kind of hard to choose another play off your call sheet. It's impossible to defend. You can know it's coming, stack the box, whatever you want to do. But most of the time, they'll just drive forward and pick up the 1st down.
And he got rid of that one quickly before the receiver even knew what was going on. That's incomplete.
Goes without saying, Mike, you have to be smart with the ball, especially down here in the red zone. You're already in scoring position. And I understand they're trying to come away with a touchdown, but at the very least, come away with 3. Worst case scenario is you turn the ball over and you come away with nothing.
They send Freiermuth, the tight end, in motion. Second down, Rodgers. There's a short one caught by Freiermuth. And that'll go for a gain of 7. And it's going to set up third down.
Just a simple hitch route. Certainly nothing special there or anything downfield, but the idea is the more of those you throw and those efficient passes, the second the defense moves up to take it away, that's when you go for the big ones.
Rodgers on 3rd and 2. And that is caught in the end zone. He's in. Ben Skoranek. Touchdown Steelers. Boswell now for the extra point. He's got it. And the Steelers are on top. It's 14-10.
Steelers 14, Chargers 10.
Boswell now following the touchdown. Back out to kick this one off. Davis now to return it. Now an opening past the 30. Nice job on the return. He's down close to the 35-yard line.
34-yard line.
On play action now. Herbert. He'll step up and run this. And he's taken down on what should be the final play of this first quarter. So we are through one here on Sunday Night Primetime. 14-10 is our score. And we're back to the Steel City after this. It's the Chargers with the football to begin this second quarter. They'll try again here, 2nd and 10. Now, Herbert. They've got it with 2nd down coming up. Well, he's brought down. That pass is going to pick up 4 and bring up 3rd down.
It takes a certain guy in that slot position to be willing and able to go across the middle of the defense on those in-breaking routes. You can tell this guy, he doesn't care. He is fearless going across the middle, and he's able to secure a nice catch.
Gxlden is the man in motion. From the gun on 3rd down, Herbert looking middle and complete with Allen.
A 7-yard gain. And the Chargers first down. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line.
A fresh set of downs to work with. It is 1st down and 10. They'll give this to Vidal. And they'll move this one down inside the 40-yard line. They get 18 on that one. 1st down, L.A.
Another Chargers first down.
Well, this is something we don't see every day, Mike. A team playing with a traditional I formation fullback. It's kind of a lost art in today's modern game, but in this case, highly effective. Great job by the fullback clearing out the path for his running back, and they're able to pick up the 1st down.
On 1st and 10, here's Herbert. Right side and hauled in by McConkey. He is out of bounds. They have worked it inside the 15. He had their lone touchdown of the game earlier, and he comes through with the catch and a 1st down in this spot.
Really nice job there, Mike. I mean, he sees the blitz coming and just gets the ball out of his hands. Understand where your outlets are. It results in an easy pitch and catch and move the chains.
He'll struggle to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe gets a yard out of that one. It's second down.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 12-yard line.
From the gun, it's Herbert. That one complete to McConkey. They'll get maybe 3 out of that one, and it's going to set up third down.
This pitch and catch may have looked routine, but I promise you, Mike, these types of anticipatory throws, especially outside the numbers, they don't occur without countless reps, oftentimes when nobody's even watching.
On third down, they'll set up to throw. Oh, he doesn't put it away, and the ball's out. One of the Steelers has it. He's to midfield, inside the 30. And he returns this all the way. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. And Greg, you talked about it all week. Not just stop them with the defense, but make impact plays, and that is as big a play as you can ask for.
Yeah, across the league, Mike, this continues to be a huge point of emphasis. Every defensive coach starts practice with takeaway circuits. How can we find ways to take the ball away? In this case, they force the fumble, scoop, score, 6 points.
Boswell adds the extra point, and the Steelers are out to a 21-10 lead.
Chargers 10.
Boswell now following the touchdown. Back out to kick this one off. The return, here comes Davis. Oh! And he'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. The Chargers offense and their running back set to go once more. They'll look to make some inroads here. They're down 21-10 in this one as they come up on a first down. He'll dump this down to the fullback coming out of the backfield. And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a first down completion of 7 yards.
Seems like the fullback is kind of the last of a dying breed, but we see them used occasionally in the run game. But man, when you have a guy that you can target in the passing game, it just adds one more layer for a defense to have to worry about.
Here comes Vidal. And they will finally drag him down at the Chargers' 38-yard line. A pickup there of 28 yards.
And the Chargers first down. A 28-yard gain. And the Chargers first down.
Big hole up the middle. The interior of this offensive line did a great job clearing some space. The back saw it quick, and he hit it. The next thing you know, he was in the secondary for a big pickup.
And that'll be good for about a half dozen. It'll set up second down.
At this point, we're going to need 2 hands to count for how many yards he's averaged in this one, Mike. But unfortunately, it just hasn't been enough to overcome the deficit here at this stage of the game.
From the 31, here's second down and 3. Gxlden is the man in motion. On the ground, no good with Vidal. And he takes it down to the 15-yard line. 16-yard pickup on that one. It's good for a Charger first down.
Well, here he is just taking over this drive from the running back spot. And frankly, Mike, any time the secondary and defensive backs are making a lot of tackles downfield, you know the offensive line's doing their job up front, and we can see the results.
They'll run it for the first time with Najee Harris. Nice job finding the seam. Gain of about 9. Just a yard short of that first down.
Brings up 2nd and
second and a yard. Blown back in the backfield. He'll get the carry here. And that one shut down pretty quickly. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Nothing more.
And after that negative run, I think this changes the play call now on third down. So this offensive line has to be a lot better on first and second down to gain positive yards. Stay on track because you don't want to be in third and pass too often in today's NFL.
And he's going to go backwards again. The defense coming up big, forcing fourth down.
Well, what looked like an advantage for the offense, Mike, facing second and short now, has turned into a win for the defense. Back-to-back stops for a loss, and it brings up fourth down.
Here's Cameron Dicker now on for the field goal. This about as short as you can get. Dicker's kick is good. And the Chargers are able to get it back within a score.
It's always a little bit of a letdown, Mike. You find yourself deep in the red zone and you have to settle for a short field goal like that. In this case, he's able to put it through, and they get 3.
So, Dicker back out after the field goal. He'll send this one away. To return is Kenneth Gainwell. And a solid run back there. He'll get this out past the 30-yard line. The Steelers offense and their running back, Jaylen Warren, set to take over once more. The advantage is 8. We'll see if they can make this a 2-score game on this drive. First down and 10. On the ground, it's Warren to start the drive. And he'll get forward for about a yard. Troy Dobb there to make the tackle.
A gain of 2 brings up second and 8.
From the 35, here's second and 8. From the shotgun, it's A-Rod. That's caught. It's Roman Wilson. Was brought down. That pass is going to pick up 4 and bring up third down.
Brings up third and 3.
Here's Rodgers. That'll be caught. It's Metcalf. That's his third catch of this first half, and good enough for a first down.
That's good for a Steelers first down. First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
It just seems like whenever they need a big play on third down, you can almost guarantee that he's someone they're going to try to get the ball to, and certainly easy to see why. Clutch play by everyone involved and keeps the offense on the field.
A run out of the gun with Warren. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
He was taken down.
Every team makes an emphasis on winning first down, but as a defense, when you're able to take them back for a loss, second and long, you can really become more of a pass-centric defense and really tips the scales into your favor.
Now Rodgers. They'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
And even though they'll say he had a man in the vicinity of the throw, it was clearly not intended to be caught. Really smart play. Don't risk a turnover here. Live for the next snap.
A tough spot here. Third and long. Working out of the gun, it's Rodgers. That's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Deion Henley. So they're going to take over now at their own 34-yard line.
And this is what comes when you decide to attack outside the numbers. You have to have a quarterback that's A, willing to make tough throws, and B, the arm strength to do it. He has the arm. Just think that one was a little too reckless, and they end up with a big interception.
The Chargers offense ready for this next possession. start on the ground. And they'll be forced out of bounds just a couple of yards short of the first down. That's a pickup of 8.
And as of right now, they find themselves trailing at the moment, but it's certainly not because of the ground game. I mean, he's averaging over 4 yards per carry. Just hasn't been enough to overcome some of their shortcomings elsewhere.
Motion man is Johnston. That one out of the reach of the receiver's outstretched arms. It is incomplete.
For the most part, he's been very accurate with the ball. I mean, he's completing over 60% of his passes, but because they haven't been able to get any big explosive plays, continue to push the ball downfield, hasn't really translated on the scoreboard just yet.
Herbert looking to throw on 3rd and 2. He's going to pick up the first down and more. Give him 16 there and a first down.
16 yards. And the Chargers first down.
Every once in a while, it just comes down to you need somebody in the huddle to just make a play, and it wasn't a whole lot fancy here. The quarterback just dumps the ball down, a quick underneath completion, and then really it's the yards after catch that did the rest, and that's what it takes. You're not always going to have the perfect play. You're not always going to dial up the perfect play against the perfect look. Sometimes players need to make plays, and that was a good one there.
And they'll take this down inside the 35. That's a gain of 11, and they'll move the chains with another first down.
Gain of 11 on the play.
Nice job by them getting the back to the perimeter. Then he's able to get outside, stick his foot in the ground, and then get vertical. Right down the numbers. Those are the type of runs this offense wants to see more of going forward.
A quick throw on the RPO is complete. And he'll be out of bounds, a pickup of 5. Now it appears we've got a Steeler injured on that play. The training staff going to look, and will step out for a moment. From the 25, here's 2nd and 4. Handoff here, up the middle, and not much there. Good defense, held to no gain.
Running back looked a little unsure of himself on that carry there, Mike. You have to think back to that fumble earlier in the game. How much is that still weighing on his mind? He didn't really seem to attack that hole like we've seen in the past. He gets stopped for no gain.
Herbert going to try to throw on 3rd down. And that is incomplete. Quentin Johnston, the man he was looking for on that one. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
Little miscommunication there. Now brings up 3rd down. It just doesn't appear that the quarterback and the wide receiver were on the same page on that last pass.
Here's Cameron Dicker now on for the field goal. This will be from 42 yards out. Dicker's kick is good. And the Chargers are back within 5.
Chargers 16.
And I can tell you firsthand, Mike, when you find yourself trailing in a game, you don't feel very good about coming away with field goals. But in this case, it does get them a little bit closer and cut into this deficit.
So Dicker back out after the field goal. He'll send this one away. Here's Gainwell to return. Across the 20, they'll mark him down before the 25-yard line. That's where the offense will take over. Steelers offense getting set to get back to work. The lead is 5 as they're going to start with this first down. They'll run here with Gainwell. And they'll mark him down just shy of the 40. About 15 yards to kick off the drive. It's a first down.
The Steelers first down. 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Well, a really nice start here to the drive. Early down success. Every offensive coordinator is trying to find ways. How do we pick up first downs without having to get to 3rd down? We see it here. Big explosive run. Now the rest of the drive unfolds.
And they're going to work this down inside the 45. How about this sequence to start the drive? Back-to-back good gains, 19 for this one.
You know, Mike, these crossing routes, you just see them being used more and more often. And really, it's because it's good against any defense. And what it does is it creates separation. It allows some of your best players to catch the ball on the move. And that short throw oftentimes turns into a long run.
Roman Wilson was the intended target. And it'll bring up second down.
Up until that incompletion, they've done a really nice job on this drive, Mike, picking up fresh sets of downs. And typically, throwing the ball on first down is a great way to do it. But now they find themselves in 2nd and 10. Do you keep it in the air and try to get the first down here? Or is the idea to just make 3rd down manageable and take your chances picking up a key 3rd down?
And they bring them down, but not until they get inside the 30-yard line. Now it appears we've got a Steeler injured on that play. So as they look at the injured player, we'll take a timeout. Set to go now on 1st and 10. They'll throw again. Here's Rodgers. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They got him.
And I like the idea of moving the pocket. It makes it harder for the defense to rush the passer, but you have to account for the end man on the line of scrimmage. And that guy's job is to set an edge. Nobody gets outside of me. In this case, the quarterback. You've got to be better protecting your edges anytime you put your quarterback on the move.
Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. To throw, it's Rodgers. This defense pinning their ears back, coming to get him again. Khalil Mack getting in for the sack, and now it's going to be 3rd and a mile.
If there's any silver lining for this drive, Mike, it's the fact that at least this sack occurred on an early down. So I guess technically they have a chance to claw themselves out of this hole, but that's the 3rd sack of the game. And this defense doesn't show any signs of slowing down.
Work to do following the sack. It is 3rd and long. From the gun, Rodgers. And they're going to get him once again. He's under siege. That is 3 in a row.
I think this is going to go down as one of the more impressive individual performances that I can recall in quite some time. And they have tried everything to slow this guy down. And up until this point, nothing's worked.
Here's Corliss Waitman now, as he's off to punt for Pittsburgh. And no return forthcoming. It's a touchback, and will come out to the 20-yard line. Justin Herbert back out there. He and the Chargers getting set to go once more. And he's had things all his way in the first half. Those numbers are sensational. He looks to add to him with another drive here. He's got the hook up downfield with McConkey. And he'll be taken down up past the 40-yard line. He's got a touchdown on the books from earlier, and that catch gets him a first down.
And nothing matters if this protection isn't able to pick up that blitz. They do a fantastic job of stunting that pass rush just long enough to find an open man downfield.
He'll find an open man. It's Allen. And they're going to work this down inside the 45.
13 yards.
Gain of 13 for number 13. And a first down.
First down. 1st and 10.
So they come to the line for first down and 10. Shotgun now for Herbert. Aside, he's got the tight end, Disley. And he'll take this one in. Will Disley. Touchdown, L.A. What a job to finish the play with a touchdown. The catch and carry, and the carry part, Greg, that was the most impressive there.
Well, you said it, Mike. The catch was nice, but it's what can you do after the catch that really separates guys in this league. And in this case, he did plenty because it ended up in a touchdown.
Kicker now for the extra point. He's got it. And the Chargers will up it to a 2-point lead.
Chargers 23, Steelers 21.
After the touchdown, here's Dicker out to send this one away. Here's Gainwell to return. And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. The Steelers offense back onto the field for their next possession. On the ground, Gainwell. Uh-oh. And he's going to be out of bounds. But past the 35. They get 11 and quickly pick up the first down.
The ability to be effective on first down, Mike, it just makes everything else easier. In the event you do have to face a third down the road, they're usually a lot more manageable situations, a lot easier to convert.
On 1st and 10, it's Warren. He's taken down, but just shy of midfield. 12 was nice last time, so they did it again. Another 12-yard pickup and another first down.
This offensive line continues to be very physical at the point of attack. They've been able to give their backs plenty of room to run. That's why they've already eclipsed the century mark here in the opening half.
He'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
The threat of making a poor decision and throwing a pick is always in the back of your mind, and while you can't play scared, you do have to play smart. If you can't find an open target, throw the ball away, live for the next down.
We'll try again. It's 2nd and 10. Throwing, Rodgers. Metcalf left side, he's got it. They're going to work this down inside the 45. The Steelers going to use one of their timeouts, and they'll have a chance to talk things over after picking up that first down. Looking to throw, it's Rodgers. Metcalf makes the grab again. And they'll take this down inside the 35. 2 straight hookups. This one good for 10 yards.
That last completion's going to go a long way towards at least finishing this 2-minute drive, Mike, with some points. You're already in field goal range, so now the idea is continue to work the clock down, take a couple shots at the end zone. You want to get points, ideally a touchdown, but either way, you have the ball last before the end of the second quarter.
And Pittsburgh will bang a timeout here. That's their second. They stop it here with just under 40 seconds until halftime. So here's a chance to take the lead going into the locker room. It's 1st and goal. Warren will score. Touchdown, Steelers.
Make no mistake about it, he may get the glory, but that does not happen without unbelievable blocking up front. So let's give the big guys all the credit in the world. He's able to displace the defense right there at the point of attack, and that's about as easy a of goal line touchdowns you're going to see all year.
On for the extra point is Boswell. He gets it to go, and the Steelers will up the lead to 5.
Steelers 28, Chargers 23.
Still a little time. Final minute of this first half. We'll see if they can do anything with this kickoff that is coming their way. This one taken at the 7. A good return as he takes it across the 30. The Chargers offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And as a play caller, when you've got a guy who's running like this, you lean on him. And your offensive line has had big opening after big opening and big numbers in this first half. Throwing on first down is Herbert. They'll look to set up the screen here. Now the Chargers will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining until halftime.
Second and 6 at the 35-yard line.
It is second and 6. Gxlden is the man in motion. Out of the gun, here's Herbert. Catch made there by Allen. And that's a first down. It will be a gain of 8. Now a timeout Chargers here. That's their second. And the stoppage comes with 23 seconds left on the first half clock. First and 10. Now Herbert. No one open. He'll drop it to his running back. The Chargers going to use their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in half number 1.
Well, this is a great example of the old saying, Mike. You never go broke taking a profit. And give credit to this quarterback. I know it's not the big explosive play he was looking for, but getting the ball into the hands of his running back, allow him to pick up some extra yardage after the catch.
Again, they'll throw with Herbert. He'll look over the middle and find it. He's hit after the catch, and the ball comes free. And fortunately, one of his teammates there to save him. They'll run, and remember now, all turnovers must be reviewed by replay. So this one is going to need a little closer look. At issue was the knee, or any other body part except the hand, down before the ball comes loose. And are the visuals convincing enough to overturn the call on the field? So that one overturned. They say the runner was down, and that will not be a fumble. The left side, catch made by McConkey. And they bring him down inside the 25-yard line.
Okay, Mike, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to the studios of the Creative Village here in Orlando. Scott Hansen with you, and you know, we've seen some scoring so far. Both teams getting into the end zone, both teams thinking they could pull out the win in the second half. Who's it going to be? Let's find out. Back out to the stadium and our broadcast team, Mike Tirico and Greg Olson.
Scott, thanks. No rest at the break for a couple of, I'm sure, weary defensive coordinators trying to figure out how to stop these offenses here in the second half. Williams now to return. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The Steelers offense and their running back, Jalen Warren, set to take over once more. Here's a run to begin this third quarter, and he finds a little bit of space. He'll take this forward for a gain of 4.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6 at the 30-yard line.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd and 6. Once again, it's Warren. And he'll get nothing here. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
What makes great linebackers stand out from the pack is their instincts and their vision. In this case, the linebacker has his keys, brings him right where the ball is going, and he's able to make a play at the point of attack and keep this to a no gain.
3rd and short yardage, it's Rodgers. And he's going to be knocked down hard in the backfield. Loss on the play, and it's going to bring up 4th down. What a hit.
Even though they gave up that last completion, Mike, that's a really good drive there for this defense. I mean, from the beginning, on those early downs, keeping them from staying ahead of the chains, put them in a tough 3rd down situation, and now it brings up 4th down, and looks like they're going to get off the field.
Chargers offense ready for their first possession of this second half. The deficit is 5, so they'll try to put a drive together here. They'll begin it with 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Vidal. Had to push through that one tackler, but he is wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage.
Where a defender makes his tackles tells you a lot about his abilities. And for an interior defensive lineman, Mike, to make plays on the outside of the formation just speaks to his speed, his effort, his ability to run down the line. And we saw it here, and he takes the back down for a loss.
From the gun, it's Herbert. Here's the man, Johnston. He's got it. Get about 6 before he's taken down.
So they have these rules for the receivers, Mike. They call them green grass rules. And the idea is if you're running across the field and you're looking at the quarterback, you're going to stay on the run. If you're not looking at the quarterback, that tells him, I'm going to sit in this soft zone. I'm going to what they call punch and pivot and stop. And that tells the quarterback to put the ball on your chest. That nonverbal communication between the receiver and the quarterback, recognizing when you're open, stay open, that's the stuff that makes a lot of these offenses so difficult to defend. Well, let's give some credit to the big boys up front in the trenches. They knew that blitz was coming. They held up just long enough that the quarterback could get that ball out safely and results in a completion.
They'll come up 1st and 10 at the 40. They'll run with Vidal. He's beyond midfield to the 45. The tackle's going to be made down at the 40-yard line.
It's a gain of 20.
20-yard pickup there. And the Chargers have the 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
There's a combination of footwork and vision, his ability to kind of weave through traffic and understand where the holes were. It's a really nice job working through some bodies and picking up a big gain.
A handoff, and this is Vidal. And he'll drive this one forward down to the 36. Jabril Peppers up from the safety spot to bring him down.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6.
Here's 2nd and 6. Throwing now is Herbert. Forced out wide. Now he'll run. And they're in business now. He is out of bounds inside the 10.
It's a gain of 27.
Give him 27. And it's 1st and goal.
First down.
What I like the most here is just the decision that when he wants to be a runner, he commits to being a runner, and he's able to weave his way downfield, pick up the 1st down, sets up 1st and goal.
A run on 1st and goal. That's a nice pickup, bringing it down to the 3. Here now, second down and goal. Herbert to throw. Good blocking, and he's in. Justin Herbert, touchdown Los Angeles. The defense comes up with the coverage, but they cannot keep up with the speed as the quarterback scrambles to the end zone for the touchdown.
And down here in the red zone, Mike, is where I think a quarterback's legs can be the most dangerous. The defenders are trying to match backs, match tight ends and receivers, but often it's the quarterback that has no one assigned to him, and in this case, he's able to capitalize and run it in himself.
So now Herbert and the Chargers will go for two.
The Chargers will line up for the two.
Now Herbert. He'll swing that out wide, and he will get in. The two-point conversion works, and the lead is up to 3.
Everything's about matchups, especially down here this close to the goal line. I think my guy's better than your guy. I'm going to put him in a position to have success, throw it up to him, and let him do the rest.
Here's Gainwell to return. He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start. The Steelers' offense and their running back, Jaylen Warren, set to take over once more. This one has been tight so far. A field goal separating the two sides as this drive kicks off with 1st and 10. Here's a screen set up for Warren. Across midfield, shot out of a cannon. And he'll be out of bounds, but not before he gets inside the 35-yard line. It's another big play in a game that's had its share. 38 yards.
Mike, it just seems like certain games each week just align for matchups like we're seeing today. Just two quarterbacks trading blow for blow, putting on a show for their respective teams. Let's see if he can finish this drive off with another touchdown following that big play.
A pickup of 14 on that one. That's a Steeler first down.
Oftentimes in the NFL, Mike, blitzing a good quarterback can kind of be feast or famine, because what you do is you actually speed up their process of identifying the open target. So in this case, it's an underneath safety outlet, but the reason he went there so fast is because he was triggered to that target from the blitz.
And he's going to be out of bounds following a gain of about 5 on first down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
They'll come up now for 2nd down and 4. A run with Gainwell. And they'll have 1st and goal. He is down inside the 10-yard line.
I think this 2nd down call, Mike, they were hoping that at worst they had themselves set up for a 3rd down and short. But there's no need for 3rd down. He was able to get enough on 2nd, and they get a fresh set of downs.
They've got it at the 8. 1st down and goal. Here's Warren. Down to the 4. It'll be 2nd and goal.
In order to be successful as a run-heavy offense, Mike, it's so important that you remain really efficient on 1st and 2nd down. The last thing you want is to be in 3rd and pass, and it really throws off what you feel like your strengths are. So now you get down here in the red zone, it's got to be touchdowns. These long, sustained drives on the ground, you kick a field goal.
It is brought in the end zone. DK Metcalf. Touchdown Steelers. His 2nd TD of the game, and this one gives his team the lead.
And this is where it pays to have a strong arm to throw this sort of outbreaking route, Mike, towards the boundary in tight coverage. You got to have a lot of faith that you're going to get that ball there. If you're a little late or this ball is underthrown, it could result in a pick 6 the other direction. Instead, he fires it and he puts it on a line, and the result is a touchdown.
Boswell adds the extra point, and the Steelers have taken a 4-point advantage.
Chargers 31.
Boswell now following the touchdown. Back out to kick this one off. This taken at the 5. He'll get this past the 20 before he's brought down shy of the 25-yard line. Justin Herbert back out there. He and the Chargers getting set to go once more. And he has been a nightmare to scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been picked apart. That is borne out in those impressive numbers. He has been terrific all game long. He'll be brought down up past the 35-yard line. 12 yards on the game. That's good for a quick first down.
A gain of 12.
Not a whole lot complicated about this play, Mike. That was understanding where the holes of the defense were. Remember, in this zone coverage, you got to find green grass. Get past the first down marker, be friendly to the quarterback, and then the ball has to be out on time before those zone defenders can react to the receiver. That's exactly how it played out here. You can drop all the fancy plays you want, but when the quarterback and the receiver see it through the same set of eyes, it's virtually impossible to stop.
And the Chargers first down.
Well, Mike, you know the old saying, the more tight ends on the field, the better. And in this case, it worked out perfectly. A lot of big bodies on the field, hat for a hat. Nice job there by the back, picking up a good gain.
Pistol here for Herbert. Looking middle and complete with Allen. And he's taken down inside the opponent's 35.
23 more yards.
23 yards on that pass play. First down, L.A.
First and 10 at the 31-yard line.
To throw is Herbert. He's got it about the 8. And they're going to be set up now as he's brought down at the 5-yard line. A gain of 26. And it sets up first and goal.
Well, they certainly aren't wasting any time marching down the field. I mean, you only need one hand to count how many plays they've run, and yet they find themselves first and goal inside the low red zone.
This is hot toward the side of the end zone. Keenan Allen. Touchdown Chargers. And Greg, that is good play design there. Using the play fake to get the receiver time to get open.
And down here this close to the goal line, Mike, it doesn't take much. All you need is that linebacker or that defender to freeze for that split second. That's all you need to create separation, and that's an easy pitch and catch for a touchdown.
Point after now from Dicker. The kick is good. And the Chargers go up by a field goal as they lead it by 3.
Steelers 35.
After the touchdown, here's Dicker out to send this one away. Here's Gainwell to return. He's across the 20, taken down just shy of the 25. Steelers offense and their running back, Jaylen Warren, set to take over once more. And as you take a look at the numbers, you have to imagine he was the topic of conversation in that locker room at halftime. They got to find a way to slow him down. Nothing they've done has worked so far. And he'll be taken down up at the 40-yard line. Terrific starter there. Gain of 15 and a first down.
Good for a Steelers first down. First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Remember this one thing, Mike. It is not how well or how often you run the ball in the NFL. It's when do you run the ball well in the NFL, and I think that's what a lot of these offensive play callers are starting to realize. Can you run the ball well in critical moments of the game? More important than how many gross yards you run for.
45-yard line. It's a pickup of 6. Brings up second and 4.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's second down and 4. Working out of the gun, it's Rodgers. He finds Austin with the ground. And a good job rallying to the football. Holding just a gain of a yard and sets up third down.
Brings up 3rd and 3.
From the gun, Rodgers. A gain there of 15. Good for a Steeler first down.
15 yards. And the Steelers first down. First and 10.
Now, so far here today, putting points on the board certainly hasn't been a problem, and plays like that are why. Think about it, Mike. Sometimes you just have to take what the defense gives you and not force something that's not there, and that mid-range pass results in a fresh set of downs.
This one broken up. It's incomplete. The defender right there with him. It brings up second down.
I got high standards for offensive players, but in this case, Mike, I think I'm giving all the credit to the defender. He timed that one up perfectly, and what could have been an easy play ends up as an incomplete.
Now Gainwell. And a nice run there as he surges forward. A gain of 8 and sets up third down.
That's a gain of 8.
Very positive returns on that run. I mean, really, the only thing not to like is that they weren't able to move the chains. But you know what? The way he ran there, I think they go right back to him and see if he has even a bigger carry in him.
Rodgers on 3rd and 2. He'll get this into the hands of Austin. That's catch 3 just on this drive. And it gets his team a first down.
Another Steelers first down. First and 10 at the 17-yard line.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They clearly have a mismatch in their favor, and every time they've looked his way, he's continued to make big plays. If I'm this coordinator, I think I'm giving him one more shot and see if he can push this thing over the goal line and come away with 6.
Quick slant into the hands of Wilson.
I really like the balance that they've showed so far on this drive, Mike, and what that does is it makes the defense have to defend the entire field. The run game and the pass game, everything looks the same. There's no tells, so they can't afford to just dial up certain schemes to take away a run or a pass. They've got to defend the entire...
To the goal line and in. Jalen Warren. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. He had the touchdown run earlier. Now add a TD reception. That is yet another touchdown pass. What a game he is having, throwing his 4th touchdown score of the game.
It's one thing, Mike, to throw 4 touchdowns, but it's really the ease in which he's carved this defense up that has stood out the most. The defense has had no answers for this passing game, and he has just completely had his way with this group.
Boswell now for the extra point. It's up and through. And the Steelers have taken a 4-point advantage.
42. Chargers 38.
Boswell now following the touchdown. Back out to kick this one off. Davis now to return it. Crazy. He'll get across the 20, mark him down at the 23-yard line.
The Chargers take
Justin
over
Herbert
first and 10.
back out there. He and the Chargers getting set to go once more. They trail by 4. Touchdown gives them the lead. Drive begins with first and 10. On play action now. Herbert. That's a short one taken in by Conklin. And he's going to be taken down at the 37.
14 yards.
First time they've looked his way all game long. He comes through with the grab and a first down.
First down, Los Angeles.
These hitch routes, they're usually just designed to pick up a few safe yards. An easy completion, get some rhythm for your quarterback. However, this time, he's able to make a little magic happen after the catch and turn it into something much bigger than even they were probably anticipating.
He'll get this to Disley on the right. And he's going to be brought down up past the 45. A gain of 11 on that one. It's good for a Charger first down.
Just seems like every year, Mike, the tight end position just continues to grow within the passing game and establishes a bigger and bigger role. And listen, I know I'm biased, but if you want to have a good passing game, you better have a good tight end.
That is caught out wide on the RPO. And he'll be driven out of bounds, and that's a pickup of 8.
We hear the term RPO so often, Mike, and it continues to kind of trickle its way into the NFL. But remember, it's a lot different in the NFL than it is in the college game where it's a lot more prevalent. The lineman cannot go downfield. So that quarterback has to make a lot of really fast snapshot decisions, or else it's going to lead to a penalty or him holding on to the ball too long. So it's something that teams want to implement, but maybe not quite to the level that we see in the college game. This back's been having his way all night long, Mike. Just a lot of room to operate. Great job by the offensive line all night long, but in this case, defense does their job. They're able to penetrate, get in the backfield, and take him down for a loss.
Open man is the tight end, Disley. Second time they've hooked up on this drive. This one good for 12 and a first down.
First down. First and 10 at the 37-yard line.
The defender has to do a better job here, Mike, of getting depth. He wants to elevate that ball to give his secondary defender a chance to make a play. He gets too much width, not enough depth, and a quarterback like this is going to take advantage.
Allen in motion. On first down, it's Harris. And he'll work forward for about 3. It's second down.
Brought down by Jabril Peppers. A 3-yard pickup brings up second and 7 at the Steelers' 34-yard line.
Disley is the man in motion. Shotgun now for Herbert. That is left side and taken in by Allen. And they'll whistle him down, but not before he picks up a first down after a gain of 7.
So there's a saying in the NFL, Mike, short throw, long catch, and that's exactly what they wanted to go with here. Operate in the quick game, don't stress the protection, and while he didn't get necessarily the big play, he does get enough to move the chains.
Now it's the rookie, Omarion Hampton. He's going to be marked down at the 12-yard line. 14 on the pickup, and the Chargers have the first down.
First down. First and 10 at the 12-yard line.
So back and forth they go as we are through 3. And Sunday Night Primetime continues after this. Down at the 12. It's first and 10. Harris gonna get it here as we start the 4th. And he'll take this down to the 2-yard line, but they are in business. First and goal coming up.
A huge advantage to red zone offense is the ability to run the ball. In this case, I thought he was going to score. Takes it all the way down inside the 2, sets up first and goal.
What a moment in this game. A touchdown would give them the late lead. It is first down and goal. Trying to find a crease in that mass of humanity, but he's going to come up short.
It's a gain of a yard. Brings up second and goal.
From the 1, second and goal. Go with their fullback trying to get it. And he barrels his way into the end zone. What a game this has been. Back and forth we go, and that fourth quarter score changes the lead one more time.
And we've seen the lead go back and forth, Mike, and now the question is, can they get a stop? Can they find a way defensively to hang on to this lead and get themselves this big win?
Now this, an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. The kick is good. And the Chargers go up by a field goal as they lead it by 3.
42.
So now playing with the lead after that fourth quarter touchdown. Time to kick it back the other way. Here's Williams on the return. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 25-yard line. Here comes the Pittsburgh offense now, heading back onto the field. On the ground, it's Warren to start the drive. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
We've seen this back have his way with this defense all game long, Mike. He's up over 100 yards for the game, but this time the defense said, we've had enough. They sold out to stop him. They hold him to no gain.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. And this ball's going to be incomplete.
I'm not so sure he would have picked up the first down had they connected either way, but still, disappointing outcome to not at least get a handful of positive yards on that last one.
Big play coming up. This is 3rd down. The shotgun, it's A-Rob. That is incomplete. Great work to get in there, make things difficult defensively, and it sets up 4th down.
Ever so often, Mike, you can see these offenses, and it looks like the passing game gets a little bit too predictable, and as the defense continues to flood the back end of these zones with extra defenders, they're continuing to force this quarterback to not only make some difficult throws, but to put the ball in harm's way.
And no return on this one. Fair catch signaled for and taken. Justin Herbert back out there. He and the Chargers getting set to go once more. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been successful. He just processes things so quickly, making the right read seemingly every time. And he slips through an opening. Winds up getting about 8 at his pass. The 40-yard line.
Down at the 41. A gain of 9 brings up 2nd and 1.
From the 41, it's 2nd and 1. They'll run out of the gun with Hampton, and that should be enough. He works his way forward to pick up a first down.
This offense, they're not interested in taking the deep shot here. 2nd and short, the way they're running the ball, pound the rock, reset the downs, and just keep the drive alive.
They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for 1st and 10. Short throw, taken in by Disley. They'll get about 4 here as he is taken down.
And this is where the versatility of the tight end position really starts coming into play. Not only do they have to line up with their hand on the ground, but they can occasionally split out in the slot. And man, they're too fast for linebackers, and a lot of times they're too big for defensive backs.
Shotgun snap, and they give it to Harris. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage at best. Might have even lost a yard there.
You know, at this point, the defense has to sell out and stop the run. You know exactly what the offense is trying to get accomplished by keeping the ball on the ground. But now the question remains, are they willing to take some risk here and put the ball in the air on 3rd down? Or do they play it safe and keep running the clock by keeping the ball on the ground?
And he's taken down inside the opponent's 35. That pass play good for 22. First down, L.A.
First down. A gain of 22 yards. First down, Los Angeles.
So this is a part of the game that everybody works on, Mike. They call it 4-minute offense, and you don't necessarily have to have 4 minutes on the clock, but the whole idea is we possess the ball late in the fourth quarter with the lead. The goal is we want to end the game with the ball. So that third down conversion is going to go a long way. Protect the ball, continue to pick up first downs. If they do that, I don't even think their opponent sees the ball again. Well, not exactly a highlight reel type play, but in some cases, just checking the ball down to your fullback, picking up some positive yards is the only play that's to be made.
Gxlden is the man in motion. Out of the gun, here's Herbert. And the ball out of the reach of the receiver. Ball's incomplete.
I could sit up here all day, Mike, and we could talk about the missed throw, but I think a lot of the credit has to go to the pass defense. Not only did they do a good job making it difficult for them to complete the pass, but I think they saved the touchdown along the way.
Throwing is Herbert on third down. Right side, hauled in by McConkey. And he'll try to get to the marker, but he's going to wind up a yard or two short.
It's fourth down.
When you're willing to throw the ball short of the sticks on third down, you know what that tells me, Mike? The decision to go for it on fourth down has already been made. If you're able to pick it up with yards after the catch, great. But if not, it's a fourth and short, and you give yourself a realistic shot of converting on this fourth down.
He gets this one complete to Johnston. And he's going to have the Chargers first down. They find a way to convert on fourth down and pick up 10 yards.
A lot could go wrong anytime you decide to put the ball in the air here late in the fourth quarter as you're trying to run out the clock and protect this lead. But at the same time, I like that they haven't gone super conservative. Just handoff right, handoff left, and it just turns into tackling practice. So I like the balance of making the defense defend everything, because right now, possess the ball, protect the ball, and ultimately just run the clock out.
First and goal, Los Angeles.
And this running game has really been rolling, Mike, all game long. The holes, the run lanes, they've been there consistently. Here's another nice run as they look to put this game away.
Harris will score. Touchdown, Chargers. Everything you want to do right there, Greg, in the fourth quarter. Get the ball with the lead and extend it to a two-score advantage.
Yeah, and I think this just might end up being too much to overcome. You said it. Once you get a two-score lead this late in the fourth quarter, there's just not enough possessions to be had to claw yourself back in it.
Kicker now for the extra point. He's got it. And the Chargers will open it up even further here in this fourth quarter.
Steelers 42.
After the touchdown, here's Dicker out to send this one away. On the return, it's Williams. And he'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. The Steelers offense getting those helmets back on, ready to head out for their next possession. Rodgers on first down. He'll air it out deep for Wilson. That ball broken up. It is incomplete. They tried the shot on first down, couldn't connect. It'll bring up second down.
It's now second and 10.
Well, they pretty much need a touchdown on this possession, and I think if I'm the defensive coordinator, the fine line you have to find, Mike, is I know I don't want to give up a deep shot, but I also don't want to just play prevent defense and give up too much underneath. So just continue to find that balance, make them go the long way, and just bleed this clock.
There's a short one caught by Fireman. And they'll get about 8 out of that one, but still a little work to do now on third down.
Brings up third and 2.
Rodgers to throw. That's out wide to Warren. It's a gain of 12 there. That's a Steeler first down.
12 yards. That's good for a Steelers first down. First and 10 at the 46-yard line.
And this is a tricky part of the game for any defense. You find yourself protecting a late lead, and the age-old question is, do you remain aggressive? Do you try to just keep the ball from being thrown over your head and make everything be tackled and played in front of you? That's what every defensive coordinator struggles with, so they can't get too soft here as they try to hold on to this lead here late. At this stage of the game, things haven't been going your way, so one more mistake, it could just be too much to overcome. So a nice decision there. Just throw it away out of bounds and give your team a fighting chance.
Again, it's Rodgers. He finds Metcalf on the slant. He'll get about 6 before he's taken down.
It's a gain of 6. Makes it third and 4.
It's third and 4. Rodgers going up top again. This one grabbed by Austin. And he's going to have the first down. It is a gain of 6. Good conversion on third down.
And the Steelers
Critical third down conversion there, Mike. Now brings up a fresh set of downs. You find yourself here trailing in the fourth quarter. They got to go down and score, and they got to score fast.
They'll run the draw with Warren. And he'll plow forward for a gain of 4 yards.
He's brought down at the 37-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup. Second and 6.
So, from the 37, here's second and 6. Rodgers. Metcalf left side. He's got it. And he'll be taken down at the 25-yard line.
That's another.
His second grab on this drive, good for 11 yards, but most importantly, a first down. On carry here for Warren. And he'll get about 6 there, setting up second down.
Dayon Henley on the tackle. A 6-yard pickup brings up second and 4 at the Chargers' 19-yard line.
Play fake.
Even when it seems like they're putting a nice drive together, Mike, they just can't seem to escape this pass rush. It has been relentless all game long, and they get them here again.
Converted twice on third down already on this drive. Now can they do it for a third time? They'll set up the screen to Gainwell. Searching for some kind of seam to go forward. It's not there. They get him behind the line. Fourth down coming up.
It's fourth down.
Well, when you call a screenplay, of course, you're looking to catch the defense off guard and pick up a chunk play. You're not thinking you're actually going to find yourself going backwards, but that's exactly the case here, and really nice job by the defense sniffing that one out.
So out comes the veteran, Chris Boswell, in a big spot. This to get back to a one-possession game. And this one, right down the middle. It's good. And they are indeed back within one score.
Steelers 45. Chris Boswell.
So the field goal makes it a one-score game here in the fourth quarter as they kick it away. He fields it at the 8. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The Chargers offense and their running back getting set for this next possession. They lead by a touchdown as this drive begins with 1st and 10. On play action, it's Herbert. There is his tight end, Gxlden. And he's going to be out of bounds, but up past the 35. That catch puts him over the 100-yard mark here tonight, and it gives the team a first down.
And with the defenders biting on that hard play action, the tight end knows he's going to be open once he crosses that linebacker. All his quarterback has to do is get his hips turned around and deliver the ball on target, and it's an easy first down.
To the middle of the field, he's got Johnston. They'll get about 4 here as he is taken down.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6 at the 41-yard line.
From the 41, here's 2nd down and 6. On the handoff, it's Harris. Only a couple on that one. It'll set up 3rd down.
Taken down at the 43-yard line. A gain of 2 on the play. Brings up 3rd and 4.
From the gun, it's Herbert. And he's going to have the first down. It is a gain of 6. Good conversion on 3rd down.
The Chargers, first down. 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
And at this stage of the game, every first down gets them one step closer to being able to finish this one out. This defense has to find a way to get off the field. They have to get the ball back to their offense to give them a chance.
Herbert now on 1st down. They go right back to Allen. He's got it again. And they'll take this down inside the 35. A pickup there of 19 yards. It's good for a Charger first down.
This is clinic tape for any young wide receiver out there watching this guy run routes. He has the defender thinking everything is a go ball. Attack him vertically, and then when you get to your route depth, you stick that foot in the ground, you break in, balls on time, results in a nice first down pickup.
Gxlden is the man in motion. On play action now, Herbert. Nowhere to go, he is taken down. The Steelers will use one of their timeouts, and they'll get together prior to the 2nd down play. Here's Herbert. That one complete to Johnston. And he'll be very close to a first down. Won't quite have enough, but now a much more advantageous spot. Now Pittsburgh will bang a timeout here. That's their 2nd. Talk things over before 3rd down. Now Herbert. That is balled in at the 5. And he's into the end zone. That might be the knockout punch. Matt McConkey. Touchdown, Los Angeles. He's got another one. His 2nd touchdown of the evening.
Mike, we used to have a saying that it was the responsibility of the receiver to run the route through the eyes of the quarterback. And I think this is a great example here. Two guys clearly on the same page. Quarterback expected his target to be in a certain place at a certain time. He's there, ball's delivered accurately. He's able to pick up the rest with his legs, and that's a big-time connection for the touchdown.
Point after now from Dicker. He knocks it through. Chargers are going to extend their lead.
Chargers 59, Steelers 45. Cameron Dicker.
After the touchdown, here's Dicker out to send this one away. Here's Gainwell to return. They'll get this up past the 20. That's where they'll set up shop. The Steelers offense ready to get back to work. So 1st and 10 now. They'll start from the 22. From the gun, Rodgers. And they'll be set up now. Up past the 40 with that one. An even 20 yards. Impressive start to this drive.
It's been tough sledding for this offense all day today, Mike, but especially here in the second half. So they are just in desperate need of a spark. Just something to get their offense into a little bit of a rhythm if they want to have any chance to find themselves back into this game here late.
A ball deep for the end zone. This one batted away. It's incomplete. Good hands there in the end zone. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
This is one of those situations that plays directly into the hands of the defense because think, Mike, they know this offense has to be one-dimensional. This has to be a pass. So what do? They bring in extra defensive backs. They clog up the back end. And at the end of the day, there's just nowhere for the offense to go with the ball.
He's got Freimuth open on the left side. And that'll go for a gain of 7. And it's going to set up 3rd down. They'll drop to throw. They'll try to run for it.
That's such a deflating feeling for a defense here on 3rd and short. They've got great coverage, but they don't account for the quarterback picking it up with his legs. It's exactly what he's able to do here on the scramble. Fresh set of downs.
One timeout at their disposal, but the more pressing need, they have to score twice. It's 1st and 10. There he goes again.
That play had sack written all over it, so that's a great job by the quarterback, not only escaping the initial pressure, even though he doesn't gain a whole lot, he's able to pick up some positive yards for what looked like a disaster in the start.
2nd and 6 coming up. From the shotgun, it's A-Rob. That's going to be incomplete. Coverage very good there. Contact jarring the ball loose. And it's going to force 3rd down.
So this is where it gets really challenging as an offense. You find yourself trailing late in the game. The defense can play you one-dimensional. They know it's a pass-first situation, so extra defensive backs, the zones and the coverage are a little bit tighter and cloudier, and he's having a hard time finding any open windows downfield.
That is incomplete. Here we go. They're down to what could be their final play. It's 4th down.
4th down.
I think as the offense comes to the sideline now, the quarterback and his wide receivers need to get together and say, hey, guys, what are you seeing out there? How can we find some open targets? Because on that last down, there was nowhere to go with the ball.
Here we go. This is 4th down. Working out of the gun, it's Rodgers. Taking off, he'll try to get there.
It's just a big-time play by this quarterback on 4th down. You can see he starts first look cover. Then he goes through his progression. There's nowhere to go with the ball. He can't throw it away, can't take a sack. He quickly decides to turn into a runner, use his legs to pick up the first down, and they're still alive.
Here's 1st and 10. Rodgers. That is brought in at the 10. And he's taken down, but they are in business. This sets up 1st and goal.
I just love the creativity and what it allows when you have the skill set of a running back like this, that he can line up all over the field. In this last play, Mike, you see him line up in the slot, but he's really capable of running routes from all the different receiver positions, and for a running back to be able to do that, that is a huge weapon.
A-Rod down to throw on 1st down. That's to the end zone, but they can't connect. It's incomplete.
Down in here in the low red zone, Mike, these windows are just so short. The field's a lot wider than it is deep, so it really changes the scheme and the progression of the quarterback, and nowhere really to go with the ball, and falls incomplete.
2nd down, Rodgers. A very quick throw there, but not on the same page with his target. That's incomplete. Jaylen Warren was the man he was trying to connect with. And now they'll be looking at 3rd and goal. To the air once more, it's Rodgers. On the run to the right. And this is going to be a touchdown. Hold everything. They are not done yet.
With that late score, it's going to give them a little bit of late life here, Mike. But remember, the next series of events is very unlikely. They need to get the onside kick and then likely a Hail Mary situation. So while they definitely have a little bit of a chance, I think it's pretty slim.
Important one here now for the Steelers. They're going to try to go for the 2-point conversion.
The Steelers will line up for the 2-point conversion.
Looking to throw. It's Rodgers. That is caught. And they get the 2-point conversion.
59. Steelers 53.
Mike, I think all of us can remember exactly where we were during a certain Super Bowl where throwing the ball this close to the goal line ended up being a disaster. But unlike that time, they ran this pass play to perfection, and the result, 2 points.
And he'll be taken down. No timeouts left for the defense. That should do it.
That was their last shot. They've got no timeouts left. Now the offense can just simply come take the field. Best play in football, Mike. Victory formation, take a couple knees, get on with the win.
So it's a win for the visiting Chargers. This was a game where both offenses were up and down the field, marching the ball at will, matching each other point for point. In the end, a few more defensive stops than their opponents did. That is the difference in this one. And that'll do it for my partner, Gxlden. For our entire team, I'm Mike Tirico. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say good night from Pittsburgh.